Salut everyone! You have seen it everywhere. CachyOS is becoming one of the most popular distro out there for everything. Not only for gaming, but for also like everything else. So, is it just hype? Like, is it gonna fade up? Or are we in a trend where CachyOS is going to stay as one of the best distro out there? Well, we're gonna find out in this video. Let's get into it. And as always, we're gonna start with a little bit of context. I'm gonna start this video by sending myself some flower. Yes, I like flowers and I also like subs. If you like what I've been doing on this channel for the last like 3 years, please don't forget to give a sub to this channel and also like support me via YouTube membership of Patreon. I will really appreciate that. Thanks. So I'm going to talk about myself a little bit, and I've been one, if not the only one, to start believing in CachyOS years ago. So if you look at my video and you look at all my most popular video out there, you're going to notice that CachyOS arrived at the top. And yes, it arrived at the top because when I started it, I think it was in September 2023. So it was like 2 years ago, actually, like when I fully switched all my machine on CachyOS. I was like, this distro is insane. Well, I'm going to continue to review distro, but this distro is going to become my authoritative kind of like distro where this is a reference and all the other ones are going to try to keep up and get to this level. And so far, there is only a few of distro when it comes to gaming and I would say like daily usage, which arrive at the state of CachyOS out of the box. And we're going to go more into it. And again, this is not me being biased or anything, but through my testing, I did notice right off the bat, there was something special about the dev and their vision. And now, 2 years after, it kind of like show up for everybody else. So everybody else, yes, let's jump into this article from bowlingsteam.com. And you're gonna see that the big title is CachyOS seems unstoppable. So I won't read all of it. I'm gonna put a link in the description below if you want to go deeper into it. But what really come out is this big graph here, where you can see the actual popularity of distro within the ProtonDB statistic. And if you look at it, at the top you have Arch, then Mint, CachyOS, Fedora, Ubuntu, Buzzite, Endeavor, Flatpak. So this is not really a distro like this line here. Nobara, Debian, Manjaro, PopOS, and XOS, and OpenSUSE, which are really like the main gaming distro for the user of ProtonDB. If you look at it, you can see that there is a trend. Like there is actually like 2 or 3 trends, but I'm going to focus on the one which are really important in this video. The first one is the birth of CachyOS at the level of a main, I would say like gaming distro. Today, as we speak, CachyOS is as popular as Linux Mint and Fedora, and more popular than Ubuntu, Buzzite, Endeavor, or Nobara, and I won't talk about the other one. So give you an idea, like in less than, I would say like 2 year span, because it really started to show up around like 2023 here, you can see that the market share of CachyOS keep on growing and growing and growing. And the way I see it is going to continue this way, unless like the dev of CachyOS or the community totally implode, but we'll talk about it after. Like I don't see really why it will happen. I believe the market share are going to be even bigger in the next 6 months. Because for the last, again, I'm going to repeat myself, the last 2 years, CachyOS has been leading in terms of like performance, gaming, and easiness of use overall. The second trend, I would say, which is super important, is relative to Arch. Arch has been able to maintain a solid user share for the last, I would say, like 4 years. It's actually pretty impressive. Arch users are there, and man, this is also like interesting when you compare to the trend versus, for example, like Ubuntu. Ubuntu was huge in the 2018-2019 when it comes to gaming, and you can see like slowly, but certainly they are losing ton of market share when it comes to gamer on ProtonDB. So we're gonna check after like other source of data, because obviously like this is ProtonDB, might not be super representative of what is the actual like landscape when it comes to gaming on Linux, but it kind of gives us like this good visual, I'd say, like in terms of trend. Arch is stable, growing market share like slowly but steadily. CachyOS, which is just exploding, and overall like the big loser from, I would say, the last like 7 years are Ubuntu first and Manjaro, who had like a little like push in 2021, 2022, as they were like pretty solid, but then they just dipped out. Like Manjaro is not where it's at, and I believe like most of the Linux user out there understanding it. Like I don't need to shoot on the ambulance. This is a French expression. You don't want to shoot on something which is already dying. This is the idea. But you can see like it's struggling when it comes to gaming. So other contender I want to talk about here, which are also like been pretty stable within the gaming world. We have EndeavourOS there, Nobara, and Debian. Believe it or not, Debian is still here for gaming, and it has been like steady, pretty solid. Another one which kind of like start to grow, but at a slower pace, is NixOS. NixOS is around like 2-3% of market share there, but he has been there, and in my opinion is gonna stay for a certain amount of time, but the growth overall compared to CachyOS is like nothing comparable. The other source of information I want to talk about today is Distrowatch. So Distrowatch, you know my opinion about it. I know for maybe like 5 or 6 months that CachyOS has been like just been like crushing it on this platform. If you look at the number here, CachyOS has been number 1 for the last 6 months, number 1 for the last 3 months, number 1 for the last month, and you can see like the gap is pretty impressive. It's like the double in terms of popularity versus Mint, which Mint is pretty like a big distro out there. CachyOS is there. I didn't want to really like make a full video about it because you know my opinion on Distrowatch. Again, it's special. It's based on like user report. MX Linux was one of the best clicked distro here, but there is a link, I believe, between MX Linux and the owner of this website. So, you know, it's kind of like complicated. Again, I don't want to say bad thing about the website. I think it kind of like give you still a good overall view of the most like popular distro out there. But again, take it with a grain of salt, exactly like the number as ProtonDB. Because it's declarative, you might think that people who are using Arch and Arch-based distro are the one, like the more, like I would say, like vocal about like declaring the fact they love Arch and CachyOS. But still, we have another trend here, and it's confirmed. CachyOS is number 1 here and really strong. And you can see like the distro we mentioned earlier, they are also here: Mint, Debian, EndeavourOS, PopOS, Manjaro, Ubuntu. Like we say, top 10. It's kind of representative of what we found on Proton. Maybe not in the same amount of like percentage, but you know, they are here. So I'm like, maybe it's relevant. So what could we watch in terms of number to make sure that the CachyOS trend is real? Steam. And here the Steam hardware and Steam software survey from August 2025 is going to give us some surprise or not. Because you can see that CachyOS appears in the most popular Linux distro out there. And it's there at 4.7%, 4.69%. Pretty good number to say the least. But like with an increase of 0.5%. So first things first, 4.7% of Linux users on Steam are using CachyOS. It's pretty big. when you compare it to the actual like trendy gaming distro, you can see that Basite is actually under at 2.21%. So it's kind of aligned with the ProtonDB number. Not really with Distrowatch, but this is Distrowatch. But here, it kind of like give me kind of like some type of like alignment with the number. So when I look at those numbers like that, it's not really representative again because they are hard to read. And you can see here like distro like Ubuntu or Ubuntu Core are still super popular, but they are getting less and less popular. With the fall, like huge fall of 1.6% for Ubuntu 24.04 LTS. So you know my vision toward Ubuntu 2. Out of the box, you can game on it, but it won't give you the best gaming experience. And I feel people like they start to notice it, and they are getting out of Ubuntu world and switching to other distro. And here, the big winner are obviously like CachyOS, Basite. You can see like also like Fedora Linux is getting some momentum here. And another one which is also like interesting is Linux Mint. So this is where we are at, guys. We are in a position where it seems that CachyOS here is getting a lot of momentum and is the one getting the most momentum out there, outside of the over here. And the Basite number, which is like a little bit odd because the percentage is 221. I guess like Basite just jumped into the survey this month. But you can see here, in terms of number, 0.5 is the biggest increase overall. So Steam is confirming the fact that CachyOS is trending out there. So you know me, guys, I had to make a little graph. Obviously, you can see it's not the best production ever. Time are hard out there for the Linux YouTuber. So again, if you want to support the channel, you know where to click. Please give a thumbs up to the video, give a comment down there. But I think it was interesting to put that on a pie, okay? Like to visualize what was actually going on with those Steam number. So SteamOS is here, pretty big, representative, like 27% of the pie, pretty big. And here we have CachyOS, chat. CachyOS is actually huge, being bigger than Ubuntu Core, smaller than Arch Linux for a fact, but still pretty big for a distro which is relatively new and growing out there. And then you have all the other distro out there, Linux Mint here, which is also like pretty big, Fedora, not bad, and here like Manjaro. So you have an idea of where we are at. Another graph to give you a better grasp on what really is dominating the Linux gaming, I would say like market share on Steam, was to regroup all those distro into like their mother distro. And you can see that Arch is dominating. It's almost half of the user which are using an Arch-based distro. So I know some of you are going to say, yeah, but it's because of SteamOS. And you will be right. But even if I remove SteamOS here, which is like 27%, I will still have more. I repeat, I will still have more user on Arch-based distro than on Debian/Ubuntu-based distro, which is incredible. And the other surprise was Fedora. So Fedora is really popular when it comes to gaming. I have my own opinion toward Fedora, but I have to say like it's a good distro overall. But it's surprising to see that those Ubuntu, Debian, which are on paper like the most, I would say like popular in the common mind, are actually not that popular anymore. And there is definitely a shift toward Arch-based distro. And I do believe that CachyOS is benefiting from this shift. A lot of users are fed up with Ubuntu-based distro when it comes to gaming. They don't have the experience that Arch-based distro are actually providing out of the box. And before we move further toward in this video, like I don't want to bash this distro versus another. You know that I've been doing like a lot of work testing the experience for gaming and content creation on most of the distro out there. And my idea, because I need to repeat it, I know most of you guys know it, but all the distro are based on the Linux kernel. And most of the code, I would say like all the code is open source. So you could transform your Arch or your Debian into a CachyOS optimized distro. But the experience out of the box is totally different. So I'm pretty sure there is a lot of you guys which are still running Ubuntu and having like a great experience, but certainly because you tweaked it, right? You are some of those experienced users who knows what to do, who have a great grasp on the hardware you need to use and where, you know, like the little different tweak need to be put. But I would say for the new user, people who are tired of Windows or tired of Mac and want to jump into the Linux world, you have to think like the distro experience out of the box is the first thing they're going to experience. And CachyOS is doing a great job. Like there is other distro which are like definitively also like doing a great job when you come to gaming and content creation, but really like performance for gaming. Ubuntu is not there out of the box. And if you think it is the best experience out of the box, I really encourage you to try CachyOS or Nobara or Basite or PicaOS, because this will be like my top 4 distro right now when it comes to gaming. I really advise you to grab another SSD and test them. Might have a bad experience, may have a great experience, but I would say overall, yeah, something to try definitively. Now, why? Why this distro is becoming more and more popular? So I'm going to try to answer that pretty quickly. But I think what they were able to achieve as a dev team and also as a vision for a distro is pretty impressive, guys. It is pretty impressive. It's not perfect yet. There is still some work to be done. But I believe like CachyOS right now can give you a great experience without even touching the terminal. CachyOS is one of the easiest distro to install out there. It's simple, straight to the point. If you don't know anything about Linux, it will be really easy to have, I would say, like a tailored experience with all the optimization related to your hardware out of the box. This is, in my opinion, why they are winning. Simple, efficient, and optimized. For the other users which are more into like the, you know, like Linux world, I also think they bring a lot of innovation. And when I say innovation, they bring a lot of new software which are like sometimes not even known by the Linux users themselves. So I'm going to give you some example out there. I'm thinking about like the desktop environment, Niri. They provide it out of the box, you can test it. Another one is Limine, the bootloader, the latest bootloader, which start to gain a lot of traction out there. You know, they just provide it out of the box. They have a wiki page on it. It's pretty good. They push new software that deserved, I would say, some type of like traction. And this is great. They're also able to implement new features within the distro that most of the other, like, I would say, like distro out there are not doing. 2 examples. The DLSS override feature. It's a little like wrapper they put within their distro that you can use to update all your DLSS file without any hassle. I made a full video about it if you want to go and watch it. It's a one command line. They did the same with the implementation of RDNA4. So if you had the latest like AMD card and you wanted to play with FSR4, well, you didn't even have to wait for the official release. You could try it on CachyOS. You could have taken advantage of it months before it was officially released. And this is, I believe, why the gamer loves it. you have a full control and you have access to all those new applications under the umbrella of CachyOS, all configured, all ready to go. And I know a lot of you guys out there are gonna be like, but man, I have Arch, I can do it myself. Yes, sure, do it, right? But what CachyOS bring is like, you don't have to do it, they do it for you. I think this is also like what needs to be said, because I know I'm gonna have some Arch purist in my comments saying like, yeah, but me, I do everything on my hand, I'm the best. Well, guess what? Personally, I could do it, right? I believe I have enough knowledge to do it. I have also enough friends in the Arch community which could help me to achieve that. But I don't want to do it. As simple as that. I don't want to have to do it. I want a plug and play experience. I want everything to be done by someone else and boom, run into it. So obviously, this is still Arch-based distro. You still have to learn some stuff, especially when you start to tinker. But overall, everything is done by the dev team of CachyOS, and the experience is just flawless. And because we are talking about community, they are also, in my opinion, one of the best community of Arch-based distro out there. Like the most like living community. Like people are actually there talking, exchanging. They have a lot of users on their Discord. I really advise you to go and check them out. They have a nice forum out there. They have a Reddit community, which is growing by the day. Like it's like doubling every 2 months. So yes, it's becoming bigger, which also means they are gathering more feedback towards the potential issues they have. And they are like able to fix it faster, because you understand it's like a snowball effect out there, right? Most of the people out there, I would say like 99.9% of the people are actually nice people. You don't have elitists, you don't have purists, you don't have, you know, like the old school, like Arch, Linux, by the way user. It's more like the new school of Unix, by the way, like the more friendly one. People who are just like saying by the way because they don't think they are the best. They just want to be part of the community and have a good laugh about it. So this is actually awesome. It is a really great community. I want to add on top of this, I don't want to say names there, but if you go on their Discord, some of those users are actually like bleeding edge developers. People who have PhD, people who are working at a big company as developer, which are like designing the future of software out there. Okay, like you need to understand, like it's not a bunch of like gamers out there like having fun. Obviously it is, but on top of that you have like all the academic which are in their Discord. I was pretty surprised because I met some of them, I had some discussion, and if you go on their like, you know, like webpage and you look like what work they are doing, guys, this is impressive. You have like some EV brain out there. So again, we need to understand that, because again, I'm gonna have some user of Arch out there. We're gonna be like, hey bro, it's just a wrapping of Arch. There is nothing new. No. It's way deeper than that. Okay, you have like, for example, kernel developer, kernel scheduler developer, which are on their Discord. You have people who are working directly on the NVIDIA driver. You have like so many interesting people out there. So yes, the community is awesome. I hope it's going to stay that way. It's going to require a lot of motivation and moderation in the coming months if the distro continue to grow as it is. But overall, the experience as we speak right now, late of 2025, is awesome on their Discord. And the last point, I'm going to try to be as quick as possible, is their wiki. So their wiki is not perfect. Like, we are not talking about the Arch wiki out there, but I believe that if you have any type of troubleshooting to do, their wiki is good enough for you to fix it. And yes, their wiki is pretty nice. I used it, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, to install Secure Boot on my CachyOS installation, and it was flawless. So yes, another like good point for them. So guys, I do believe we are at the crossroad of the gaming of Linux situation right now. there is a bunch of distro which are winning market share, which are winning the heart of the gamer on Linux, but also like the newcomer. People who are tired of Windows. We know that Windows 10 is gonna die in less than 2 months, I believe, like 2 months. No more Windows 10. People are gonna have to switch to Windows 11. There is a lot of trick again to switch to Windows 11, to do all the stuff. But some users are just tired of using trick, tired of building their own ISO, tired of Windows in general. Like they want to move to Linux. And CachyOS right now is in a great spot. And in my opinion, like the best spot of all the other distro out there. Because they have been like pushing and I would say like growing the part? What the heck am I saying? But like growing the actual like aspect of the distro which are really important for the gamer. And the aspect of the distro which are really important for the gamer is just to put the USB key in their PC, install, and have a good gaming experience. That's all. Like simple as that. They don't want to have to use command lines. They don't want to have to deal with a NVIDIA driver or even like a Mesa driver which is not up to date. They want to have like everything ready and usable out of the box. Well, CachyOS, even if it's not perfect, he's doing a pretty darn good job. And I'm not even talking about the content creation, because content creation is also awesome on this distro. Like this is the easiest way to install like OBS, DaVinci Resolve. Like this is the best distro at this moment for this experience out of the box. So guys, let me know in the comments if you are enjoying like CachyOS. I do believe that I'm gonna have to do like 2 videos on my CachyOS special series because I still need to cover the content creation. So it's gonna be the first one. And the second video I'm gonna make is gonna be how to maintain and fix CachyOS, because this is a question that come up a lot of time, and I didn't cover that in my previous video. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I'm finally back. I had a little like hiatus for 1 month, but we are so back. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget a comment, a thumbs up in the comment video below, and see you in the next one. Bisous.